Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to prepare your dispute letter, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the mindset of the bureaus and what can stop your disputes from moving forward without you even knowing it. And I'm going to tell you what they will send back to you where you'll know that they did not really do a dispute. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that you could do to resolve that so you can start working on your credit, so you can start getting things resolved. Now, a little bit about the foundation. I want to lay the foundation on this right here. So for repairing your credit and disputing negative credit, the items that we're talking about right here would be items that have just been sitting on your credit reports. You know that they're inaccurate. You know that there's something that's wrong about the way it's being reported. You have a right to have information be reported fairly, even if it is your account. It is written into the Fair Credit Reporting Act that information must be fairly reported. It cannot be inaccurately reported also. And there's some gray area about if something is being reported that's unfair. And I see it in some instances now, but in the past, there used to be people's criminal records and tickets was reported on credit reports. That stuff is long gone now. So when they say unfair reporting, that it could be the way that, I guess the way that I would look at it is if they had two accounts. I see this a lot with student loans. You refinance your student loans, but they still have your other student loans accounts on there with the balances, and it makes it look like you have, say you had 5 student loans, it makes it look like you had 10 student loans. And you don't have 10 student loans, and it's unfairly making your credit score go down because it's making it look like your debt to income ratio is high. Also, when it comes to credit repair, and I want to reiterate this, is that it does take work. And one of the things that it's like a specialty of mine, and I think it's just from my years of being in business. I've owned my own company since 1990. And I started the credit repair shop in 2006. And what I always did especially when I started the credit repair shop, is that I paid attention to what the bureaus were doing when disputes were being sent to them. Like, what was the reaction? When we first started the credit repair shop back in 06, everything was being sent by mail. So it was like we would review it. You can see some of my testimonial videos where we used to actually have just stacks and stacks of results from clients. I got a video that's 1 hour long of showing proof of items that we got removed for people to help them repair their credit. But now it's a whole different, things are being done a whole different way. You need to have a credit monitoring service. You need to have a paid credit monitoring service so you can see the results, so you can see that information is being disputed, so you can see the result of that information being disputed. Now, one of the other reasons why I wanted to make this video is that there's those letters that come from the 3 major bureaus where they are making this, they're sending this letter out, and to me, I'm just going to say it the way that I see it. To me, it's like they're saying that this letter is constructed too professional for you to have done this dispute, and they're just kicking the dispute out solely because of that reason. And then the other thing is that they actually had written into the laws that if you're going to work with a credit repair company or an attorney to repair your credit, that you actually have to do power of attorney. You got to do affidavits and stuff like that to prove that you want to work on your credit. Like, it's unbelievable. If someone wants to write and apply for stuff through one of their third-party vendors that's going to pull the information from them, they'll let that go on all day. But when you want to challenge information on your credit reports, you got to go through hell to be able to repair your credit, so to speak. You know, not literally hell, but it's like this is me. You got my information without my permission, and now you want me to have to give myself permission to give you permission again to be able to work on my credit, to be able to repair my credit. That's what you want me to do. And so I'm going to talk about that also. And I'll say it's luck. I must be a very lucky person, because when we first started the credit repair shop, this was one of the things that I went after right away. And I don't even know if I had read it at that time, but I had always had it in my dispute letters. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you an idea of what we say. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not going to be specifically showing you our dispute letters, because people pay for us to do that. And it wouldn't be fair to them, for people who pay money to us to do that. I will give you a link to where you can have access to where you can do our do-it-yourself service, and it has that letter in there, the actual letter that I built this company off of, and it had this specific line in there, a paragraph about your rights to have your credit repaired, regardless, even if you hire somebody. Because if you give someone the right, they must abide by that, by you telling them to do that, because you never gave anyone the right to have your credit history. You never gave anyone the right. You give people the right to go to the bureaus to pull your credit history. But if we go from day one, did you ever sign anything that allowed the 3 major credit reporting agencies to even maintain your information about you and sell it off to people for that want to see what's on your credit? Like, it's just crazy. I won't even go too far in that. But so let's first talk about it. The dispute process explained in detail. Get your pen and paper out. Because I'm doing these lessons. These lessons. I do these trainings actually for my staff. And because if you remember my videos, what do I always say? I say that a lot of this stuff is right here. It's right here. See, if it was just about the letter, everybody would be successful. But it's more than that, and I'm going to be explaining it to you. So first, this is you. You need to dispute a negative item on your credit report. First and foremost, you have a right to dispute anything that you believe is inaccurate on your credit reports. Anything that is unfairly showing you in an unfair light on your credit report. Anything that is not even about you, like ID theft, something that is totally inaccurate, you have a right to dispute that information. Don't let any company, don't let any bureau, don't let any person tell you you don't have a right to do that. You are a free person and you have a right to do this. So now, let's deal with this here at the beginning so we can move on to the other pieces. I've seen some videos where people talked about maybe you should have an affidavit when you are doing your disputes. And I'm going to tell you, you can do that, but I could just tell you from experience that you don't need to do that. That you do not need to do that. What you need to do, and I'm going to take a drink here. I got a little bit of a sore throat. That's why I got my coffee with me. So when we're looking at a dispute letter, and I'm going to speak on the affidavit part too, on where you need to insert that. So you're going to have the bureau info. You're going to have your date. You're going to have the account info. And then you're going to have your dispute. And you can put your dispute in plain English. Whatever you see is wrong, you dispute that in plain English. You need to have the account number. And then you need to have your info right here all of the info that you want to be able to identify you. I'm going to tell you why that's important. And then what you could do right here, this is what we had did. This is what I did, is that you don't have to attach an affidavit. What you can do is you make this statement. I had a PS statement right here, and I quoted the law, but you don't even have to go that far. You could just state that you have a right to have your credit repaired, that you have a right to submit documents and have your credit repaired. See, a lot of this stuff where a lot of people get mixed up is that they get too fancy in their disputes, and when the bureaus get it, they're just like, oh, kick this back. Either they didn't do it or they don't know what they're talking about with this. That's the mindset that they seem to have. So what I did when I did this, and you can see we're still here. It's 2000. We're about to pretty soon. We'll be 20 years in three more years. Is that you clearly write out your disputes, which is what we do for our clients and what we teach our clients to do if they want to do it themselves. And then we put this is the client info, because that's needed to do that verification process for the dispute. Also the account info for the verification of the account, and the dispute that you want to, your reasoning behind your dispute. Plain English, you don't need to be fancy. And then right here stating your rights to be able to work on your credit, or to have a third party work on your credit, that you have a right to have that done. I guarantee you, I can't share the exact wording that we have because my clients pay for it, but you can do your own testing. And I guarantee, this is one of the things that I will guarantee you, that if you put that statement at the bottom, that every one of your disputes will go through. Every one of your disputes will go through. Now let's talk about what happens once that dispute gets in there. And I teach this to my staff also, because there's this mindset of the bureau. So everybody, what they're doing now is they're like, okay, I got all of this stuff right. And then I send it to the bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and then they're supposed to just do their work. But see, you think this is the mindset. When we're looking at solving problems, we have the problem of what we want done. So when we're with our customer, this is a team. So we're the team. So we know what we want to do. But now what we bring in from our side as experience is the mindset. What is the mindset? See, this is a mindset. What is the mindset of these three bureaus when they get that information? So one of the things that a lot of people are unaware of, and I'm about to make you aware of this, is that when they get those disputes, that the first thing that's in their mind is, do we even need to bother our furnisher with this information? Have you ever got a letter back from them and they said that it was verified? Information was verified. The reason why it was verified, it didn't even get to the furnisher. The furnisher is who is the next level right here that we're going to talk about in a second. So you're thinking, they sent that back verified. There's no way. If they would have verified it, if the debt collector or the original creditor would have verified, they would have taken this off. But you get this letter back and it says it's verified. That's because you're not understanding the mindset of TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian when it comes to you being able to work on your credit. What they're going to do before they even do anything, before they send that to anybody, they're going to look at, their mindset is, how can we speed up this process? We have millions of documents coming in on a weekly basis. What can we do to speed up that process? This is a business. They are a business. They're in the business of getting data and pushing data out. That's their business. They have to, by law, deal with this interaction of disputes for inaccurate information and all of that. They don't even really want to deal with that. So that's their mindset. So now that you understand that, what do you need to be aware of? Number one, before it goes to the furnisher, they're going to do these data reviews. They're going to look at personal information, what we had stated right here. They're going to look at proof. Can you prove who you are? That's why we tell people, and we've actually had people that would not get this information over, or says social security number, who would not even want to get this information over because they just didn't completely understand how that mattered with the Bureau. Their mindset. If we can get you to drop out before we even get it down here to the furnishers by requiring you to do some simple steps. Some simple steps. Who are you? Okay, who are you? Prove who you are. Your address for the data point. Personal match. Your address right here. Does that match? They're matching here too. They're not just matching what's on your file. They're matching what you send in. This is like the first level, and a lot of people get this part they get it messed up. They'll get a letter back that says that, well, we don't even, you need to do ID, you have bank statement, something. You need to prove who you are for us to do this work to see about these disputes. We want to see who you are to help. Even if you're not the person, you're trying to help this person. So we want to see if you're this person to see if this person can get help. You're not trying to hurt that person. If you're trying to hurt that person, it would be easy because then you could just fill out applications and they'll blow up that person's credit. But when you're trying to help that person, they want you to make sure that when you're trying to help that person, that you are who you are. And they want all of these to match. Social security number, all of that. They want all of that to match, because if it does not pass this test here, it's not even going to get down here to go to the furnishers to see what they're going to come back with. Next thing is you got to have that account number. You got to have that account number and your dispute reason. So this is what they're looking at. So if we know this is their mindset, we know what our mindset is on what we want to accomplish here. But now when we review that letter, are we fulfilling that mindset of them? Because if you're fulfilling that mindset, there's no other alternative than for them to send that information through. That's why with the credit repair shop, and not to even speak on that, we do all of this directly to them too. We come from both angles, but the ultimate goal is to also get that information off of the credit reports that cannot be proven. So the mindset of the bureaus, before we send it to the furnishers, let's do our data review. If any one of these don't pass the test, then we'll send that letter back stating that either insufficient information or it was verified, or they'll send a letter back saying that it just doesn't look like you were the one that put this together, or whatever. They'll come up with some type of letter, and usually it scares the individual into not doing anything on their credit. Think about it this way. Why is it so difficult for people to be able to repair something on their credit? Why is it so difficult? And it's so easy to have information that is inaccurate put on people's credit. That's that mindset that you're dealing with. And if you put that in your mind, it will help you go over. If you have a huge mountain to go over to fix your credit, it'll help you extend that time frame so you don't think that things are going to happen overnight. So if it passes these tests, then it's going to get sent to the furnisher. The bureaus are going to send this dispute to the furnisher. The furnisher has 30 days to respond, and it's 30 to 45 days. During COVID, they had 60 days. That's long gone now. 30 days to respond, or they're going to remove it. They're supposed to remove it. So the furnisher gets the information back. Let's change this here. Furnisher gets the information back. to each of the bureaus, and the bureau is going to update. They're going to update that information into your monitoring service. Sometimes they'll send a letter. Sometimes they'll send the results in a letter, but most of the time they're going to upload that into your credit monitoring portal. Now, some of the things, this is one of the things that must be done regardless. If you dispute directly with the furnisher or you dispute with TransUnion Equifax Experian, one of the things that is required by the furnisher is to put on there in the comment section that you're disputing, that you dispute the information on there, that you have a dispute on there, and that you are trying to see how it's going to either be resolved or if it's going to end up being where it met the criteria. That's going to be that back and forth that's in there. But when you get the results, this is very important. When you get those results and the information is, you read it over and it looks like, hey, this information is completely accurate. And that this goes back to when I opened up the video, is that if we're dealing with accounts that are going to be proven, and these could be collection accounts, these could be original creditor accounts, then you're going to have to move into the next strategy on dealing with those. If it's an original creditor account who sold the account to a collection agency, then what would you do? You would change this letter once you're notified of that information, or if you even know it, you could have started directly with this, and you would just state in your dispute that account should be marked paid. Make sure all your data points are met. Send it to the furnisher. Also send it to the furnisher directly, stating your reasons why you believe that account is paid. Because if they accept payment from you for less than it was owed, it would be marked paid for less than owed. If they accept payment from another outside source, it would be considered paid for less than what was owed. And that needs to be marked on your credit reports, or it needs to be removed. Some people don't understand that logic. But if you think about it, what would they state if you had a mortgage and they sold it to another mortgage provider? Do they just leave that account open? No, they accepted a payment for it. If they accepted less than, they would put less than on there. Even though that doesn't happen with mortgages because they're in control, they would be selling it. But you see what I'm saying is that you need to understand right here in plain English what you're going to do and put for your disputes. You need to make sure all your personal data is matched. You need to have your game plan of how you're going to attack, understanding the mindset of the bureaus. If you understand the mindset of the bureaus, it makes a lot of this stuff a lot easier with your back and forth. It doesn't necessarily make it a lot easier with the work that you're going to have to, go through to get the job done, because that's going to be dependent on your specific information. So let's just do a quick review. This is you. We spoke about the affidavits. So you're going to have the bureau's information here. You're going to have the date. You're going to have your account number. You're going to have your reason for the dispute. Why you believe this is either unfair, inaccurate, whatever that is. You're going to have your personal information here. You're going to have your statement stating that you know that you have a right, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, to dispute any information on there, and that you can also hire someone to do that for you. You need to make sure that your ID, your mail, and your social security number is correct, because what the TransUnion Equifax Experian is going to do when they get your information before it goes to the furnisher, they're going to do a data review, they're going to do a personal match, account match, and they're going to look at your dispute reason before they do anything, before they send it to the furnisher. Once the furnisher gets it, furnisher will review your information and they will make a determination within 30 to 45 days. That information is going to be put on your credit reports as disputed, or it could just be removed off of there. That would be what your goal would be. And also, if they do not make it to the furnisher, if the bureaus, any one of them, and they do work independently, so you can have two of them get it to the furnisher, you can have one of them send you the letter back. Just because this one gets it to the furnisher does not mean that this one has to get it to the furnisher. They're not calling each other and said, "Hey, did you got Steve's dispute? You got it? Okay, we're gonna send it to the furnisher. So you need to go ahead and send yours to it." No, they don't work that way. They are independent companies. They don't care. They're actually in competition with each other. They push furnishers to not even use the other bureaus for their information. So they're gonna get it to the furnisher. Furnisher is gonna get it back to them, and then they're gonna do whatever that result is. And from that result gets into the way that you're gonna be responding in your next letter. You're gonna have to be you're going to have to look at what you're actually disputing about the account. They could potentially update it to the information that you believe is accurate about the account, or they could remove it, or if it's something that you're going to just need to buckle down and resolve, because that's also part of the game, is that you're going to have, this stuff you're going to have to end up resolving. So if it's a open account and it was sold, I just told you how you resolve that. You deal with the collector on that end with validation of the debt. Maybe you can make it go away that way, or do a settlement with the original creditor. If they sold it, it needs to be marked that it's paid for less or whatever, or just remove the entire account off of there. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports, and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, cease and desist, and debt validation letter to stop debt collectors early, or if it's past statute of limitations, to notify them that they have no legal standing to be able to come after you for the debt. If you want to get my membership program, the link is below here. It has the actual letter that I started the credit repair shop with. That letter is still good to go to this day, and it has a statement right here that will solve your problem if you're getting the bureau sending it back, that letter back saying that, in essence saying you don't have a right to work on your credit. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.